Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I am Liz Quinn, your star Scentsy consultant. So today what I have for you, I hope is a fun video, a little walk down memory lane of the best of our holiday brick collections from 2020 to now. So that would be 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and we'll talk about this year's 24, which I just finished my warm review video filming of. But I was looking at my whole brick collection and thought, you know what? This time of the year, I don't think people really want to talk about spring bricks or the generic bricks that are in our Scentsy Club lineup. But I think people would probably, and of course I want to do this, have a lot of fun thinking about, reminiscing back to, and talking about all of the bricks that we've had, and then seeing in the holiday collections what is the common theme where Scentsy seems to kind of throw us the same sort of thing, just dressed up differently every year or not. So let's just dive right on in with 2020. I do have two of the products here from their 5 brick lineup from 2020, which was Marshmallow Mint Cocoa, Crimson Berry Christmas, Snow Kissed Cranberry, Pretty and Plaid, and Salted Caramel Toffee. So Marshmallow Mint Cocoa, that one was brand new. I really didn't care for that. It was very overwhelming. I think I ended up giving the rest of my brick away. That one was a really rich cocoa scent. So it was authentic. It smelled like a creamy hot cocoa, and then it had the mint with it. And when I would warm that, it would just be off-putting to me. It was just too much, but a lot of people love it. And I know that that came back, I think, as a special extra bar in a whiff box at one point for 1 December. And I think it's popped up in some clearance and flash sales, and that there is a group that really is devoted to that. So it's great if you like your hot cocoa to have mint in it. Next, we've got Crimson Berry Christmas, which I do still have a almost complete brick of. This is fantastic for those of us that love our really heavy spice and berry type scents, which this certainly is. It smells a lot like 'Tis the Season. Just add a little bit of a cherry note or a berry note to it. I didn't look up the notes on this. It is quite old, but it still throws beautifully. And that is one where I would like to see that come back for Scents of the Season at some point. That is probably my favorite of this 2020 grouping. Then we've got Snow Kissed Cranberry, which had been a scent of the month at one point. Then I think it possibly went into the catalog for a little while. And then they had it for brick size. And at one point, people were also joking about how it's the curse of the bricks, that if you see it in a brick, it's going to die in the catalog. And I don't think that that continued after that. But that is a really pretty body care cranberry scent that is very appealing. And if you don't like cranberry, that one was soft enough because it was like a white woods and cranberry, somewhat similar to frosted cranberry from Bath & Body Works, but not as strong. That's a good one. If I ever saw that pop up in a clearance sale and I could grab a brick of it, I still might. Pretty and Plaid. This is another one that was a scent of the month 1 December. And it's not something that most people really liked. It was a very heavy, almost soapy juniper evergreen type smell. And even for an evergreen lover, there was no sweetness in that, and it was a lot. So that was kind of hard to get through in a whole brick for most of us. Then Salted Caramel Toffee is still in our catalog to this day. People loved this. I don't have it in a brick anymore. It's a really sweet, smooth, gentle, salted caramel. It's very tasteful. It goes with all sorts of things. It lasts a decent amount of time for a caramel scent. So this is one you can still try today if you're curious about that, because it's in our current catalog. 2021. Now, 2021 was the split personality thing for me with the bricks. There are a couple I love, and there are a couple here I really do not like. So we start out with the spiced eggnog. Really heavy, boozy, rummy spiced eggnog scent. I didn't mind it, but one of my children is very sensitive to this one, and it gives her a migraine, so we don't melt that one in our house anymore. I got through most of that brick and then eventually just threw it away because she kept complaining that she didn't like it. It was very saturated. A lot of people still have that as a bar in their club, and it was really good as long as that extra note that was boozy didn't bother you. The next one that we have here, I have in a funny little bar where I melted down part of my brick because I gave a lot of that brick away and just transferred some of the label to this little bar. Now, Fluffy Fleece was wildly popular this year. It was definitely the darling of this collection. I don't really remember in 2020 if there was a standout for most people. It was probably either the Salted Caramel Toffee or the Marshmallow Mint Cocoa or the Crimson Berry Christmas, but it's just been too long and I don't remember. But I know Fluffy Fleece took the world by storm in 2021. Then it ended up in the catalog, and then shocker, 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 this fall they pulled it from the catalog, and a lot of people were very sad. But Fluffy Fleece is the most beautiful, cozy, granny laundry type scent. It's very granny core. But it's really, really nice. And I am kind of sad that I don't have more. I keep toying with getting a brick off of Mercari, but then I choke on the price of the shipping for such a heavy thing when it's privately sold, so I don't do it. If any of you have a few bricks or bars of Fluffy Fleece you want to swap at some point for something else, let me know. Because I just want a couple. Then we have Pink Poinsettia. This year and then 2022, I'm not a Christmas florals girl, and they gave us this. Oh, I had such a hard time with this brick. I eventually tried to get rid of it at a garage sale. Nobody wanted it, and I threw it away. It was this, gosh, I don't even remember what was in it. It was kind of floral. It was kind of sweet. It was something I just didn't like it. If you love it, please put in the comments what the notes were and why you like it and why it's still in your club. But that one was a hard pass for me. Vanilla Cinnamon Maple. I have this. I have this still in my club as a bar. When I initially opened this, and if you guys want to laugh, you can go back and watch my reviews on 2021 bricks, because it was like the first thing I filmed. I was so green as a YouTuber, but the expressions were real. I mean, I was so geeked because I opened this, and darn it if it didn't smell like making popcorn balls with my mom when I was a kid. I got so excited. And then I proceeded to melt this for a long time and think, I don't think I really like it. And so being that it's a brick, I had tossed it into my basement. And over the summer of probably the end of 2021, going into the fall to start the fall season. I'm sorry, 20, whatever. Whatever year it was where we had the bricks, it would have been 2022. Okay, summer of 2022. And melting what's left of a brick of this. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I put it in my basement, and all of a sudden this thing just came to life, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had more. And they put it in the catalog for the next fall, winter. And I was so excited, so I clubbed it, and it stayed in there ever since. This is a very middle-of-the-road scent, but in the best way. So it's got the maple, it's got the vanilla, it's got this homey, cuddly, not as sweet and cloying as a salted caramel type scent. But it's not as deep as like a regular spice scent. It just walks the line in between there of sort of being spice cakey plus mapley plus sort of confectionery. It's one of those bars that I debate whether or not I should keep it in my club, that I melt it again and I'm like, it is never going anywhere. So I love that one. But it definitely had a second chance with me because I'd had the brick so long that I was melting it in my basement during the summer, and it was just amazing. Excuse me, guys. And the last one that was in this collection for 2022. This is one of my all-time favorite scents Scentsy's ever made. And that is the very controversial Sweet Orange Pomander. This is one of my top 20 scents Scentsy's ever made, ever, anytime, anywhere, for anybody. This is a saturated, deep, glorious spice bomb with dried orange peels. Oh my gosh, you guys. This one's stuck. I'm not going to get it out. And they put bricks of this in clearance a little while ago, and I went and I grabbed a couple because I have a little bit of one of my original bricks, and then I do have a bar of this in my quarterly club, and it's so strong that 3 bars of it a year will probably honestly do me. But when a scent is this good, personally, it's so, so good, I had to grab a couple more bricks because it's like a security blanket. So this is one of the strongest scents, one of the most concentratedly deep, spicy, just glorious. Like if you like to decorate your home in colonial Williamsburg type motifs where you have this spiced pomander. So basically you take an orange and you put a whole bunch of cloves around it, then you put the pretty ribbons on, you stick them on your tree, you do the same thing with apples. There's no apple in here, but I just cannot get over how good this scent is. It always makes me happy. Even if I were to warm this in the middle of the summer, it would make me happy. It just suffocates your home in the most glorious, deep, drenched spice scent, and most people hated it. They complained about it. They whined. They're like, I don't like this new spiced pomander scent. It's too much. And I'm like, well, I'll take all the bars you guys don't want, all the bricks. So that, I'm going to rank them at the end as far as what my absolute top scents are. I bet you can guess where that one's going to go. Anyway, okay, so that was 2021. Now we're going to go to 2022, where we had Winter's Eve, and I do still have 4 of these. I've got at least parts of the brick. Winter's Eve, Icicles and Evergreen, Caramel Chestnut, Maraschino Sugar Cookie, and Frosted Petals. So this Winter's Eve is interesting. I don't hate it. I do like it. I like mixing it with pine better. And the new one that we had this year for 2024, I think might be exactly what should be mixed with this. So this has bergamot and almost like a smoky wood stove, not super smoky, little hint of smoky wood stove, cologne, bergamot, and pine. So it's very masculine, but it's also very comforting. It's the sort of thing where if they had a couple bars of it in clearance, I might grab one. I don't think I'd grab another whole brick, though, because you can see I'm still working on this because I prefer it as a mixer. But it's really, really nice. That was unique. We haven't had another brick quite like that. Then we also had Icicles and Evergreen, which I know was in the catalog that year. And this had been a scent of the month, and it went catalog, then they pulled it. So this one, this is so pretty. This is like a... You took your spruce, you dipped it in some sugar, added some apple. It's just a little bit of eucalyptus, which I hardly smell in here. This was a very popular evergreen scent for people who didn't like evergreen for quite a while, and then I guess people just got bored and they quit producing it. So I'm glad that I have this, and I think I have 1 or 2 more bars of that. That was very, very popular. Maybe people just overbought it. I don't know, because eventually it died. Then we have the other one that I just, oh, it's so good. Caramel chestnut. Now, I have at this point either 3 or 4 full bricks of caramel chestnut and a couple halves or quarters. Oh, because I have so much and I've got so many other scents, I did pull this from my club. Someday I'll probably regret that, but I have more of caramel chestnut in my house than any other single scent, just by virtue of the fact that some of you have mailed me bricks of this that you didn't like because you know I love it so much, and I now have this stack. This is glorious. People loved it the year that it came out. There was a lot of buzz. Now there's another one that was even more popular, but that is the most wonderful ooey gooey caramel balanced with roasty toasty chestnut. It's never a bad thing to put that in your warmer. It's fantastic. It's gourmand. It's toasty. It's so good. That needs to come back for Scents of the Season at some point, I believe. Okay, now the next one was the darling of the year for most people, and that is Maraschino Sugar Cookie. The year before, they had put this in the December whiff box, and some people would buy 10 whiff boxes just to get this limited edition bar. And this is really good. Now, the year that they produced this, I wasn't sure how much I liked it. These bricks had had a long time to cure, because that was 2022. The Maraschino Cherry was so strong the first year when you got this that it was too much for me. I couldn't get the sugar cookie. This has balanced itself out after, 3 years of sitting around? And it's really, really good. So they had brought this back in a flash sale, and I did grab an extra brick because I've got like a brick and a half. Caramel chestnut is my favorite, but this is probably my second favorite from this year now that has had time to sit. It's a wonderful kind of baking those classic cookies that are the sugar cookie with the cherry either hidden inside or just kind of like you would do, it's totally escaping me, where you put the Hershey Kiss in the middle of the cookie, but similar with the maraschino cherry. So nice. And then the last one was Frosted Petals. This one I liked better than the pink poinsettia, but again, it was just sort of a odd thing for fall, winter, and Christmas. It was a really floaty, sophisticated, what did it have in it? Some sort of an orchid, and then some wintry florals. Maybe just a kiss of some sort of a woodsy note. I didn't love it, and I don't have it in my club. Wouldn't ever pick it up again, but some people really liked that. So then we went to 2023. So this was last year. Now this was a great group of scents, and this is where we transitioned to having the Christmas tree shape, which was very controversial and still is. It's super cute, but they like to break, they're hard to store, and you don't get quite as much bang for your buck. There are some good scents here. So the returning scent in this year, because I think, were there 2? There were 2. Cozy Kitchen and Candy Apple. Now, I don't have Candy Apple anymore. I really didn't like that, and I gave it away. It was a very hardcore candied green apple scent. It was very strong, very saturated. For me, it was just not something that I liked, so I gave it to some other people that I think would like it better. Cozy Kitchen, however, I put in my club for a little while. I got about a third of a brick left, And this is a beautiful brown sugar oatmeal coziness with milk kind of a smell. It's got some caramel in it. It's really, really good. I have so many different bakery scents, though, that after getting a few bars and still having this, I'm like, how many things can a girl keep in her club? So I pulled this. If I had fewer things to choose from in my club, I would have kept it. This is super cozy, just like it says. And this was from a collection around Christmas time years before we really started getting into so many different collections at Christmas time. And it was a good scent. I really enjoyed it. So the next one was going to be Forever Flannel, and that's the first one I picked up to show you the Christmas tree size. This is really an unusual scent. It's really subtle and cozy. I think it's got a little bit of lavender, some vanilla, some maybe bergamot. It is very gentle and cozy. I don't think of it as flannel-y. And I'll tell you a funny story. I have a friend who lives in the UK, and for them a flannel is a washcloth, so she was so confused. She had sent me a text and said, what is with this Forever Flannel? I can't see how it's glamorous that we have a scent that's like a face cloth. So that makes me crack up. But over here in America, a flannel is a really nice button-down plaid type shirt that's made out of a heavy like brushed cotton. So, you know. Then we get to the two that were my faves. But because my club is already so full of wonderful bars, I didn't choose to club either of these. But the Holly Jolly Cider and the Orange Spice and Everything Nice, I just love them both. They're fantastic. And comparing these cidery and festive punchy scents to this year's, that's why you've heard me agonize over not ranking the Wrapped as Lights as high, because I think these two are both better than that. So the Orange Spice and Everything Nice is nothing like Sweet Orange Pomander. This is on the very sweet end of an orange and spice scent. So this has vanilla bean. It's got almost like a sweet mandarin and just light, happy mulling spices. Nothing deep and dark. But it's gorgeous. It just doesn't last super long. Whereas you put Sweet Orange Pomander in your warmer, 5 days later you can still smell her because of the incredible amount of spice. Then the Holly Jolly Cider is this gorgeous sweet apple cider with a little bit of evergreen. And to me, it's so Christmas festive. It's just lovely. So I've got about 1.5 bricks of this left, and that'll do me for a long time. So those are the two that rank tied at the top for me from last year. And then we have this year's scents, which are Wrapped in Lights, Warm Winter Night, Christmas Tree, Salted Caramel Cider, and Butterscotch Brittle. And the Wrapped in Lights will go beautifully with those other two cider scents from last year. Now let's see what the differences might be in how they presented the trees. I don't think that there's much difference. No, they're pretty much the same. They did change the color of the tree. These are darker this year. Last year's were a little bit lighter green, a little bit happier. These are kind of moody. I do love the colors of this year's trees. They are pretty much everything that I like to wear. But anyway, for this year, I've talked about these ad nauseum in the last couple of videos, but I think that my favorites are the Salted Caramel Cider and this really unusual Butterscotch Brittle, because the only other peppermint thing that I've talked to you about from 2020 and before, or 2020 and after, is that Marshmallow Cocoa one, which wasn't my favorite. I love this. The peppermint and this smoky butterscotch, there is just something so intriguing about this. I love this scent. So that is everything from 2020 up to now. You want to see what my favorite 5 are? Because I did rank them. So coming in, and this is without this year's bricks. Coming in at the bottom would be Holly Jolly Cider and the Orange Spice and Everything Nice tied, because I just can't decide. I do like them. They're very nice. But then Crimson Berry Christmas would be next at ranking number 4. It's just so good, and it's so much like 'Tis the Season from Bath & Body Works. Then number 3 is going to be Vanilla Cinnamon Maple, because I just cannot part with that. Can't get it out of my club. Want to warm it over and over again. It makes me happy all year round. Then at number 2 is Caramel Chestnut, because it is just this glorious, ooey gooey, roasty toasty thing that I probably shouldn't have taken it out of my club, but as you know, I have piles of it. And then number 1, my favorite brick scent of all time, ever, is Sweet Orange Pomander. This is just such a me scent. It is so efficient too. Like, this brick will probably give you double the warming time of most of the other things on this table. It just lasts and lasts. Oh, and it's just so good. So let me know what your favorite Scentsy bricks for holidays are of all time. When you go back farther, we had things like Candy Cane Wishes, Sugar Plum Berry. I mean, there are so many good things that I really only wanted to go back to where I had the most amount of experience to talk about, but you can go even farther back in the archives and find lots of other good stuff too. So well, I hope that this was an enjoyable video. I'm sorry about my voice. At this point, I feel fine. I do not know what this thing is. It has attacked my vocal cords, and I cannot wait to just be able to talk with you guys without sounding like I'm bleeding like a sheep. So have a great day, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.